Hello and welcome to the tutorial for Workshop 3's assignment. I'd like to go through the workbook that you'll need to use for Workshop 3. In this workshop you're going to need to calculate adjusted rates and do that using the direct method and the indirect method for two different data sets. And hopefully it will be relatively intuitive because I filled in a lot of the worksheet here. And if you scroll over, you can see I've also added an age adjustment calculator. So you really just need to, since this is the first time you're doing this, you really just need to fill in these colored areas. And I've put in comments as to what you need to do in each area. And then you need to go to the assignment itself and answer the questions. So the first table here, just to orient you, we have the different age groups, and then a mid-year population for 1990. Then we also have for 1990, 1991, and 1992 deaths presented. Now, the first time you go through this, you're going to just assume that for each of these years, the population stayed the same. So use the mid-year population for 1990 to calculate age-specific rates for each of the years. And you're going to want to do sum of this whole population and sum of your deaths in order to calculate crude rates for each of the years and answer the questions. Now, as we move down, you're asked to assume some population growth. I think it's 3% population growth. So instead of just using this mid-year 1990 population for each of these years, you're actually going to need to estimate using the assumptions given to you the new population in 1991 and then the new population in 1992. So that shouldn't be too hard, and still go through and calculate the crude rates and the age-specific rates for each. So you need all that information in order to calculate age-adjusted rates. And we're going to need the age-specific rates and the U.S. standard population. So I've presented some U.S. standard population data in the next workbook. And you'll see that we have the 2000 U.S. standard population for a variety of age categories. These are in 5-year groups, which is different than what you're needing here. Here we have 10-year groups. So you're going to need to calculate these using this other worksheet. So that will take a little bit of data work in order to get everything in the right categories. And once you do fill in the age-specific rates and the U.S. standard rate, the U.S. standard population, the weight of the standard population will calculate automatically for you. So this is it's kind of a proportion of the population, the standard population that is in that age group. So it's taking N3, which is the 35 to 44-year-old age group, and then dividing it by the total U.S. standard population. So you'll need to get the sum of all of these age groups in order to do that. And then the next step is the crude rate is multiplied by the weight of the standard, so this will automatically fill in. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So say this was 0.10, and say we had 5,000 people here, and the total was 100,000. That's all going to fill in. So weight of standard population, 5,000 divided by 100,000. Crude rate times the weight of the standard is 0.005. And then this actually sums all of what goes into here. So that's basically what you need to do for this workbook. Again, a lot of this is already set up for you, so you just need to follow it through. And the other workbook is this back pain workbook, and in this case, we're going to look at back pain in cell phone manufacturers and textile manufacturers, and then a national random sample. And using this data, you're going to want to get the total cases, so the total observed events for each of these groups. And you're also going to want to calculate your age-specific rates for your national random sample. And then use those to plug it in down here. And again, things are sort of filled in, so we're going to multiply the age-specific rate in the standard population multiplied by the study population weight. So you need to just go through, fill in this table here, and then go down here and calculate your standard event ratio. And the standard event ratio, as is described in the problem set, is basically like the standard mortality ratio, except we're not talking about deaths here, we're talking about events of back pain. So then you go down and do that. So good luck, and make sure to ask questions if you have problems, but hopefully this is set up in a way that you can go through if you've gone through the lecture and some of the tutorials that were listed that this shouldn't be too hard for you at this point. And if you don't understand it by the time this exercise is over, make sure you understand it before the final exam, because some of these topics are going to show up again.